So you have big dreams. You want to be successful, to build a life that excites you, to finally become the version of yourself you've always envisioned. But there's a problem. You keep putting things off. You know exactly what needs to be done, but instead you delay, make excuses, and indulge in distractions. And every time you do, a familiar feeling creeps in: guilt. Deep down, you know you're capable of more, yet you remain stuck in the same cycle. At first, this guilt nags at you, but over time, you grow numb to it. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and before you know it, a whole year has passed. Then comes January 1st. The universal reset button. You set the same goals, convinced that this time will be different. Fueled by a burst of motivation, you hit the ground running. But soon, the old patterns resurface. Procrastination sneaks in like a shadow, and before long, you're right back where you started. Eventually, you start believing that maybe this is just who you are, a person who never follows through. But here's the truth. You are not lazy. You are simply stuck. And the reason isn't a lack of motivation or discipline. It's something far more fundamental: momentum. There's a principle in physics called inertia. An object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion, unless acted upon by an external force. This applies not just to objects, but to your habits, your goals, and your life. The hardest part of any task is simply getting started. But most people make that first step unnecessarily difficult. The goal seems overwhelming, the stakes too high, so instead of beginning, you avoid it entirely. So how do you break free? By hacking inertia. And there are two simple ways to do this. 1. Lower the barrier to entry. Instead of telling yourself, I need to write a 5,000-word essay, start with something much smaller. I'm just going to write 50 words. Instead of committing to an hour-long workout, say, I'll do 5 push-ups. By reducing the initial commitment, you bypass the mental resistance that stops you from starting. Use the 2-minute rule. Tell yourself you'll work on something for just 2 minutes. That's it. If you want to clean your room, start by setting a timer for 2 minutes. If you want to read more, just read 1 page. The magic of this technique is that once you begin, momentum kicks in. More often than not, you'll continue far beyond those 2 minutes. Why? Because an object in motion tends to stay in motion. Once you overcome that initial hurdle, everything gets easier. It's like pushing a heavy boulder. At first it's difficult, but once it starts rolling, it takes far less effort to keep it moving. This approach works for everything: your fitness goals, your career ambitions, your personal projects. The secret isn't in waiting for motivation. It's in making the first step so easy that you can't say no. But remember, this process isn't linear. Some days pushing that boulder will feel hard again. You might even slip backward. What matters is celebrating small wins and choosing consistency over perfection. Every 50 words, every 2-minute focus session is a micro step toward your goal. Over time, these steps become habits, and your brain automates the act of starting. Also, make progress visible. Track it on a calendar, jot it in a journal. Tangible proof keeps you motivated. Every good enough start makes you slightly stronger than yesterday's version. Ultimately, taking control of your life isn't about giant leaps. It's about you would like staying faithful to small commitments. The next time your mind says, I'll start tomorrow, challenge it. Just now, just 2 minutes. Over time, these moments compound, turning you into someone programmed to act. Because starting isn't half the battle, it's the only way to break the cycle. As the saying goes, you don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step.